Ah, I salute, I salute all una. I salute all una. Una good evening for all Ambazonians and for una for North America. Una good afternoon for all una. I be una brother Lucas Asu, the press secretary for the executive office for Ambazonia Governing Council. Today I want me to get a different kind of discussion whenever get them recently. Today we will talk about the last waka. The last waka way the dying the dying dictator for La République du Cameroon, the dying tyrant. Yes, we want to talk about the last waka way the colonial tyrant for La République du Cameroon. The last journey where they take them before they kick the bucket. But before we go there, a lot of things that don't take place. The big things that they happen within our liberation struggle, and it be very important say what people they stay for the site for make sure say we constantly provide the updates. Before we start for talk about anything, we get into the discussion for today for mash La Republique and jam them. Make we talk about what we give the news so we come out for the office for the leader of our War of Independence, Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba. The leader today don't move a Twitter. I see we don't move already a video. It don't go for Twitter. It talks they say the president for consortium, Mr. Jomba Koro, say he don't call on all Ambazonians them for rally for Washington DC tomorrow. We will be in number 14 day for the month of January for 2022 for protest against the dying tyrant, a presence for inside Washington DC for the summit with Mr. Biden. They don't call him Mr. John Bakoro. They call all Ambazonians for Washington DC for United States. Same they gather for Washington for carry all the pictures them of all Ambazonians where they don't kill them, for the villages where they don't burn them, as Mr. The colonial dictator of La République. He too don't be invited for participate for the African American Summit under the Joe Biden administration for talk about palaver them for Africa and between Africa and the American new government. So Mr. Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, he talks he want add a voice for support the action where all we must take for make every space where Cameroon be there, make it be ungovernable. All right. So now it's the leader talk. He talks here as Mr. The colonial dictator of La République du Cameroon, a day for America, we must make any place we be there, make it be ungovernable, like say Mr. Paul Biya, he enter na Ambazonia. We must turn him into hell. So the leader, the add a voice for encourage Ambazonians then for participate, because as we know, one of the strategies of the Ambazonia Governing Council are the process of internationalization. For internationalize was struggle and make the world know what it happen. All right.
No be you and I 4 years. Been a countryman for years.
We don't see the video we come out for inside DDR for Biya, or when I don't watch the video. One of the people them, now the way they call it a Clovis, when actually a full military man for inside La République du Cameroon, the military, it be pretend to be Yamba boy, all right. So they be only it be only the pretend to be Yamba boy, and then they use it for intelligence purposes. They use it for gather all other fighters them for bring them for DDR. So it be been a game. So Mr. Clovis, when a Cameroon military intelligence officer, he don't use all the other DDR fighters them for making money from the colonial prime minister, from the colonial governor, from army them, from police them. He don't use all the other DDR people them for making money and for make himself make it be very important. So them they don't talk say it no go ever happen again. Say it no go ever happen again. So yesterday for night, Mr. Clovis, who did make a mockery of the Ambazonian people them, he did make a mockery of the Ambazonian fighters them, he did make a mockery of the Ambazonian liberation. Mr. Clovis, where he thinks say he and Paul Biya and Diongute, they don't wear one trouser, they wear one shoe. Now the other DDR criminals, yesterday as they talk, criminal bite criminal. DDR criminal, he take his head, he bite another DDR criminal head. So yesterday, the other criminals for DDR, for Biya, now they want to show Mr. Clovis, say then there be better criminals past Clovis. They want to show Clovis, say there be better traitors past Clovis, because now the goal now say who be a better traitor. Now the goal now who be no be better. Let me say better for the bad way. Who be the worst traitor? So because of the levels, now the fight for say now who be the bad of the bad of the bad of the bad traitor, right? So if you see all the game now it happen for inside La Republic of Cameroon, as Cameroon don't lose the war, they don't lose the propaganda war too, they don't lose everything. So now we're not there then. Anyway, my system, they make my face be red. I don't know what will happen with this system. we'll continue and then we'll fix them later. It make like see my face be red. Anyways, this computer thing them. Not be small matter. Now computer they make my face maybe not red. Okay. Anyhow, we'll continue our discussion. Computer will do it own thing. We'll do our own thing. We'll fix that one later. That will not be our problem for now. Our problem is we want to get the message out to our people. Them. So the problem, waiting the go on for DDR now. Now say now who be the bad of the baddest of the baddest of bad of all the bad traitors them. Now who bad? Now Nambere be bad pass Clovis or na Clovis big pass a bad pass Nambere. Who be the worst of all traitors? So now all these La Republique du Cameroon, they are criminals. We don't go put them inside DDR. They did for competition. I say now who be bad past the other one. Now we last night. Yesterday for night. It be been a competition day. They say Clovis, you go for Facebook. Go call one name. Make yourself maybe more important past we. It no go happen, Clovis. So yesterday, the criminals, they catch one of their own. We think say don't be now more important past them. They catch them yesterday and then they kumaisi. Una watch them. They kumaisi. Now in this, una don't see them already. Una watch.
Biya, they call we for the 4 years. Been a countryman call we for years. Now Papa Biya, they call we for the place. Not be you and countryman.
You should not go back. You got to continue. How you going to people? Me and you are here. So it's everything.
4 years. Been a countryman call for years. Now Papa Biya, they call we for the place. Not be you and countryman.
You should not go back. You got to continue. How you going to people? Me and you are here. So it's everything.
When I see the slap, let me say, they never ever slap my picking for public. So another criminal, he take it on, he wipe the other criminal. Pa! They shoot up for that same place. Some other video there, for that same place, with blood with the come up for Clovis, he knows. They ask Clovis, say make him make that is stupid Facebook video, the way they make him call their name. Make him make him show him how he Clovis. They don't move his foot, they move his t-shirt, they slap his sote blood, they come up for his nose. They say Clovis take their same telephone, so you make him, you take him, make live video, Make live video as blood come off for your nose, Clovis. Clovis not be fit for do one. Now the one that's how it happen for inside the criminals of DDR. So now the level that for Cameroon. Even for inside their own small place. For people the way they want to say they want to change their lives. They want to move them from ex-combatant. They change their life, make their life better. Instead, they don't take them. They turn them for the worst of the worst where human being if you ever experience them. Even small fighters. We're not fake fighters in the first place. Alright, Mona no say all those boys for DDR na fake fighters. Na fake fighters. They be just there for gather intelligence and then they will use them for this game. So being a fake fighters. Even fake fighters, Cameroon office still manage them. Cameroon office still help them. Now they don't turn for chop each other. Anyways, now the comedy that way they come out for inside La Republique du Cameroon. Now make we take una enter inside what story, what matter for today. What matter for today? Now what did happen for inside America? The colonial tyrant of La Republique du Cameroon, the dying president of La Republique du Cameroon, the dying dictator, he don't take a last waka. This waka we Paul Biya go so na last waka this. As they talk am. So now we don't talk the last journey of the dying tyrant. Paul Biya don't come out. The new American administration, he don't invite all African head of state. And they include Paul Biya in name for day. Say may they go for America. Because as we know, the American government, it rally the world for fight against Russia economically. For punish Russia economically. So Russia don't gain a lot of influence for Africa. And the Russian style, it gain a lot of attraction within African dictators. So America, they look this thing, say, you know really the worker. Why be say all these African head of states, they never condemn Russia? Why be say that they still do business with Russia? So, yesterday, through our research, we can find out, say one of the primary reasons where America, a call for this African summit, not been just because say America want to look how if he expand American business and for promote trade and economy between America and Africa. The primary focus of the American government in terms of their foreign policy, as the United States, it don't mobilize Europe through NATO for almost European countries them for focus for condemn Russia and for work with the American policy for sanction Russia and crumble them economically. Now 3 superpowers they did now for the world. Before, for the last maybe 25, 30 years, now only one superpower it be there for the world, America. Over the last 15 years, China don't emerged through economic prosperity, the industrialization of China, the wealth of the Chinese people them, the process where the Chinese people them don't take them attract investment for China and create economic miracle for China. It don't change the balance of power for world politics. So you don't come out from one superpower and you get competition for international power. China become a dominant contest for global superpower with the United States. Then, Russia say, look, in the past, I be very well known, I be very well respected, even though we not get the economy, but we still get a lot of influence. Russia say, I no go be left behind. So Russia still start for put a foot for down, for mark your own territory, for mark your own place. It say no go be left in the history of the world. Wait till they see and they go on for Ukraine. Now the test of the power play for the world. And Ukraine are the test ground. Over the last 8 years, America don't push. Over the last 8 years, the American government, it don't put a lot of resources for inside Ukraine. The American government don't put 4,000 American special forces over the last 8 years for train the Ukrainian military and develop them for prepare them for the time. As Russia don't complain, say I know will leave them, make wait till they happen from my backside. It become a threat to the Russian national security. Just like the Americans, they no go ever leave them, make any other power, it can't put army for a backside. When I see them for the Cuban Missile Crisis, it be been at the biggest test. For test, what they call and say the Monroe Doctrine. So Russia say no. If you need agree, make another foreign country can put army for your backside, it will be at the same team. Another NATO, it no go come from a backside. America say no, NATO must come for your backside. Russia say no, NATO no go come from a backside. Ukraine not become part of NATO. So for 2014, they reach an agreement, the Minsk agreement. Say Ukraine, it go be in a neutral zone. It go be in a neutral country. It no go join NATO and it no go join the EU. It go be in the middle between Russia and NATO. They can't agree. But they don't promise it in some future dates. NATO don't make promise to Ukraine. The EU don't make promise to Ukraine. Through the Americans. For influence, for change the policy, and for provoke Russia. Anyway, this one not been at the subject matter, but I want to give you the background as to why Mr. Biya go for Washington, D.C. When the war for Ukraine come out, before this war one come out, America don't put a lot of things for inside Ukraine. They already trained the Ukrainian military. As we talk, Canada get 5,000 troops either inside Ukraine or around Ukraine where they train Ukrainian forces. The United States and all other countries then, they don't put a combined force of 460,000 combined force. When I hear fine, the United States and the NATO members and all other countries where America don't mobilize them, they don't put 460,000 troops for inside Eastern Europe for prepare for any eventuality. Say if the war it extend beyond other countries then it will become now a war where now the world now it will fight that war against Russia. The war for Ukraine not been just a war between Russia and Ukraine. The war for Ukraine now the test of global superpower. America not like make any other country it compete for come close to American superpower. So now the dominance for the world now it happen for Ukraine. Ukraine are just a test ground. So Russia, the US, what they try for do now for do everything humanly possible for make sure say he use the international system when I create them for crumble Russia financially and economically. And since the American companies they control the international market and what I call and say globalization, the American system, they control them, they don't use that system for pull out all the major companies them from Russia for crumble Russia financially and economically. The sanction they don't put them, now all the American system, all the other European countries them, they the only you know if you go against America. America just be too big. You go against it, you die. Because now it create all these modern systems in terms of the new world, what they call and say the new world order. Now it create them. All right? All the liberal doctrine, the American policy, all human rights, the American policies, that they create all these things for their dominance for the world, for promote American dominance for the world, for promote American culture and American value, for sell them for the world. All right? So the system, that they create their system. Now, that system don't be tested. Russia now they test that system for say no go waka. So waiting Mr. Biden the do the African government them over the last few years they don't move towards the side of dictatorship. So Russia be very attractive to Russia because it be easy for them to do those deals. For do deals with the American and all the other one them, they put small condition them. Say, hey, human rights. No human rights. No do this kind of bad thing. You do election monitoring, election fraud. Russia no care. China no care. So the American way, they use human rights, they use some kind thing them, corruption, anti-corruption, anti-embezzlement, some kind thing them for placate the population and the world. For in terms of say America, they get a better system for the world. The American system be more superior than the Chinese, it be more superior. All these things are systems. All na systems. Not just systems of influence. Not just systems of leverage. Not just systems of interest. All na systems. Nothing say one be better past the other. All na systems. Not just how they implement them based on the people, their context, based on their geography, based on how their society they. Now how those things fit in. When I don't see communism for China, China a communist country. As all now, they don't fool when I say communism, now this. When I don't see China today. They're a communist state. But when I don't see how they don't take communism, they develop them into the Chinese way, where you go benefit the Chinese people them and create wealth and development for the Chinese society. So make one not be carried out by one system just because some person tell you say be so good. You got to find a system where it be workable for you. You got to shape your own system based on your own needs, your own aspiration. Remember, the America, no person no give them that system. Now then they create a system where it go work for them and make them become a superpower for the world. So they create their own system where it go give them what they want. The Chinese, they don't create their own system where it go give China what they want. And it be different from the American system. It be very different. The Russians don't create their own systems. Understand all these things as systems for how you fit develop your people, give your people a better life. So you fit take one of these, you take the other one, you put them all together. The purpose of this discussion now for understand what they go for Washington DC. Paul Biya go for Washington DC now part of the US global campaign for rally the world against Russia, for punish Russia. So now part of the global competition. Not before any person in interest. Now for secure the interest of the big boy in the block. So if you rally all these other African countries then, you promise them, say, look, we will do better business with Una than Russia. Alright? We go give Una more, we go open Una more opportunities. Alright? Person like Paul Biya not supposed to enter America. If you think say America be so good, and America they abide for human rights, and America and a country will be based on international laws, and they respect that human rights, how they go live a tyrant? He enters America. I want to ask you something. If America be so morally upright, and it be not the policeman for the world, why you think say they will leave him? Another man, a dictator, we don't kill more than 30,000 people them. It burned 1,000 villages. It burned Big Mommy in my life. It burned Big Papa in my life. It burned pregnant woman in my life. Why you think say America will still live make enter America? If America be so morally upright, we not get to understand what it go on. That's why sometimes we get to keep our emotions aside. We're going to forget all what people them for think and get out of your emotions. Think and get out of your emotions. Like game of interest. Even if that interest it comes through butchers. Even when those butchers they don't cross the red lines. Even when the US they get all the intelligence report from the CIA and the FBI and from their embassies when a part of their State Department. They get all these reports. So Mr. Biden get the facts their interests come first. What you want to try to accomplish and come, it be more important. So when I get to understand the game, they not like Cameroon. Now a game of interest. They not like Mr. Biya. Now a game of interest. They don't care about Mr. Biya. They care about their interest. How they feel rally the world for conform with the American intention on the globe against Russia and against the other competition of China. How they feel move all these African countries and pull them more towards American businesses and American money and American companies than towards Russia, than towards China. Now the game that the thing that the summit be about. All right? Now for sell America against the other people them. And then for rally them. For say, look, when I join we condemn Russia. When I join we make we tie Russia for corner. When I join we make Russia not do business again. When I join we make Russia not sell the oil. When I join we make Russia not get place for sell Ikako. Now a game of interest. You not get anything for do with their so-called human rights. You not get anything for do with their so-called what you fight for. Now a game of interest. So, once you understand that one, now you understand why Mr. Biya did it. Why did he invite him? Because he not qualify for B-Day. Now, person way America, I see the touchy food for America. America is supposed to catch Mr. Biya and then send Mr. Biya for International Criminal Court. If it be been all about human rights, the moment Mr. Biya for touchy food for inside the United States, the United States, with all the intelligence where they get them, therefore pick up Mr. Biya as he touch a food for America. Send it straight to jail. So now we don't understand that game. But Mr. Biden, a person where as a person, he don't always stand against injustice. A video don't come out for what he be talk about during time for the apartheid. When the black South Africans, they be fight for their rights, he touched Mr. Biden for which he say with his eye, he make a speech for inside United States Congress or Senate. A very passionate speech. And ask the American government, now who is the supporter for this fight?
What disturbs me more than the policy that you call a policy is the rationale for the policy. The rationale for the policy. You set out 4 principles that you adhere to, and then and I will go over them in a moment. Then you say on page 14, we must not become part of South Africa's problem. We must remain part of their solution. We must not aim to impose ourselves, our solutions, our favorites in South Africa. Damn it, we have favorites in South Africa. The favorites in South Africa are the people who are being repressed by that ugly white regime. We have favorites. Our loyalty is not to South Africa, it's to South Africans. And the South Africans are majority black, and they are being excoriated. It is not to some stupid puppet government over there. It is not to the Afrikaners regime. We have no loyalty to them. We have no loyalty to South Africa, to South Africans. And the fact of the matter is I listen to this rationale first of all. It is the leaders of South Africa and their people, black and white, who have the majority responsibility. They must rise to it. Well, they are rising to it. They're rising to it. The only thing left available to them with that repulsive, repugnant regime of Afrikaners there. And it's the only way they have. They've tried everything for the last 20 years. They begged, they borrowed, they crawled, and now they're taking up arms. The second thing, progress toward peace requires a timetable. Timetable, elimination of apartheid. What's our timetable? What are we saying to that repugnant regime? Are we saying you've got 20 days, 20 months, 20 years? We ask them to put up a timetable. What's our timetable? These people are being crushed. And we're sitting here with the same kind of rhetoric. The same thing we heard. We heard go slow. We heard we have to take care of the problem afterwards.
Now, Mr. Biden, that, if we talk as a young man, we there for U.S. Congress. Now in that, it talk with passion for the injustice where the black people they be facing for South Africa. Today, it invite now who? It invite now another tyrant. We don't do worse things them. Past what happen for South Africa. Now in that go shit on with Mr. Biden. Mr. Paul Biya as he enter America, Mr. Biden, the administration supposed to catch Paul Biya and put him for jail. For a crimes against the Amazonian people them. Muna not forget what Paul Biya don't do for the Amazonian people them. Because my message from today now for remind the Amazonian people them who be Paul Biya. Paul Biya na a manufacturer of death. Paul Biya na a manufacturer of death. Paul Biya na a manufacturer of genocide. Paul Biya na a manufacturer of Scotch policy. That policy where when army they enter for some place, they must burn them all down. Now Paul Biya the manufacturer. Paul Biya na the person where they give instruction for say make the burn mommy them where they do belly alive. Make they burn them inside house. Now Paul Biya they create all those things and then pass it on for the army. I want to remind you today who be Paul Biya and why be important for this generation, for all the Amazonian people them. Wetin the Amazonian people don't face them today, other than wetin happen for inside Rwanda. There is no other group of people where they don't go through wetin what people don't go through over the last 5 years, over the last 60 years, or 62 years, or 61 years. There is no other set of people where they don't suffer, they go through the pain, they go through wetin what people don't go through. There is no other set of people. Because of Paul Biya, na a manufacturer of terror. Paul Biya na a manufacturer of terror. Paul Biya na a baby killer. Now my the kill big mommy them. Now my we the bomb big papa them alive. It takes young picking them, young girls, shoot them, burn them. Paul Biya na a rapist. An ugly rapist. Someone will not forget who Paul Biya be and what you don't do for the Amazonian people. That's why for this time, for our lives, it be very important for all Amazonians. Say, as our people don't rise up collectively, for stand up, for restore the dignity of the Amazonian people, them, for reclaim our lives, for reclaim our land, we must clean our land of anything Cameroon. The only way where the Amazonian people, they will get a future where they didn't want them. A future where we deserve them. Now for clean our land of anything Cameroon. Wait till Cameroon don't put up for our land until we clean our land of anything Cameroon. Where people no ever live in peace. Until we destroy, dismantle, and obliterate anything Cameroon for Amazonia must go down. Anything in the name of Cameroon for inside the Amazonian territory, for the Amazonian people them, for get their lives back, for give our people them a better future, for give our people hope, for give our people them better life like how other countries they live, and opportunities. We must destroy anything, dismantle and obliterate anything Cameroon. Anything Cameroon for Ambazonia must go down. Anything Cameroon for Ambazonia, we must clean our land. We no go only end Cameroon occupation, but we go clean our land of anything Cameroon. Ending the occupation, and you still leave traces of Cameroon corruption, Cameroon embezzlement. What does this one mean? It means say all those people where they don't enable Cameroon occupation, they be responsible for administer the genocide. As we clean, as we end the occupation, we must eradicate our land of all these people where Cameroon don't infest them for inside our territory. All these colonial agents, all these collaborators, all these traitors, we must clean our land. Every liberation struggle, every generation, even for France, even for the United States, during the US liberation struggle, they cleaned their land. For the French Revolution, they cleaned their land. That's why France be what it be today. America be what it be today, because they cleaned their land. We must clean our land from all the occupation traitors and collaborators where Cameroon don't put them for our land. We must clean our land. We must clean our land. Ending the occupation is not enough. We must dismantle, destroy, and obliterate anything Cameroon for Ambazonia. That's why during this period, you must be aware of the people them where they want to help Cameroon make it come back for Ambazonia. You must be aware of the movements of the leaders where they no one make Ambazonia be totally liberated. You must be aware of who they be and why Cameroon create them. Because Cameroon knows say we fit end the occupation and drive them out. So they create una pseudo leaders. Leaders where they no one Cameroon, but they like Ambazonia, but they no one leave Cameroon. Leaders them way they be leaders, but they don't like the war, but they want to take credit. Una must understand who they be. Una must understand who they be. Una must understand why they raise money, but they need to ever buy gun. Their own money they go now for something else. They want keep una as part of Cameroon. Una must understand them. All Ambazonians, una must be true nationalists if una want to be truly free. If una want to be truly free, una must be true nationalist. Because una tolerance for tolerate corruption in the middle of a liberation struggle, now it lead to the death of our people on the ground. Because if we all focus on the nationalism and the liberation, we for don't end Cameroon occupation a very long time ago. But the tolerance we wanna get them, we wanna tolerate corruption, we wanna tolerate embezzlement, we wanna tolerate stupidity. They tell una this, they tell una that, una accept them. If una play with una future, they go put una back inside Cameroon. As una don't hear recently, it already happened already. It already happened. They call for protest. When they protest against Biya, all the one way they don't embezzle una money, thief from una, they can't tell una say no, muna no protest against Biya. They can't tell una say no, no go protest against Biya. Now don't hear. All the one way Biya don't create them. Some of them don't tell una say una must end ghost town. Una must end ghost town. Ghost town, when a weapon of the liberation, they tell una muna end am. They need to tell una muna end ghost town on behalf of Ambazonia. They tell Namuna end Ghost Town on behalf of Cameroon. When I begin to watch, when I pay attention, Magi Kilo don't tell Namuna end Ghost Town. Ghost Town not fine. Ghost Town they affect our people negatively. They don't speak on behalf of Ambazonia. How Ghost Town concern la République du Cameroun? Ghost Town is a weapon of war against Cameroon. So Ghost Town not concern Cameroon. For Cameroon, the agent for can't tell you say Enam. Ghost Town it need to take place for la République. It will take place for Ambazonia. So when we hear all these Magi Kilos, they can't tell us say, Ghost Town. We get for end Ghost Town. It dey affect our mammy them. It dey affect our people them. They speak on behalf of Cameroon because they know the consequences of Ghost Town for the Cameroon occupation government. Because Ghost Town are a tool of the war, a weapon of the war, a pillar of the war. So if you give up your pillar of your war, what you get? What you get? Maybe Mr. Biya can talk say, may the end Ghost Town. Now for those who go ask a question, if Ghost Town take place now for Yaoundé, now for Douala, the only place where Mr. Biafi asks any of those things, now for a territory. So when they see all these people that they can't choke their head, when I understand place where they have discussion that they come out. When I must be true nationalist. We for a very delicate place. As I don't tell you last week. At any time, things have turn. And for the last 5 years, I get to address this thing while we're there on top of it. I get to address them. For the last 5 years, we don't give advice for leaders and they're not here. Today, 5 groups of the IG, they're under the mercy of Paul Biya. All the 5 IGs, when I hear fine, all the 5 IGs, they get no leverage on Cameroon, no substance for something where the feet stand up for their foot then, for down. So they leave themselves at the vulnerability and the mercy of whatever Paul Biya offer them. The IG care of Ayoktabe, they take this man, they not build anything where if he give you a leverage over Paul Biya. So they make it become very vulnerable. They make Ayoktabe become very vulnerable. They make IG become very vulnerable. It be at the mercy of Paul Biya. Because they not build anything where they feel use up as a leverage against Cameroon. Once they take the Nara 10, there's nothing left. The IG vice president where they put it for outside, they not build anything where they feel use them as a leverage against Cameroon. So as I don't explain that for now, you know if he talks to you there for a liberation struggle and you get mob for talk, but you not get teeth for bite. You not get teeth for bite. How your opponent go respect you? How your enemy feel respect you? That's why Paul Biya, if he woke up, he take Ayoktabe, he put it for inside military tribunal, and he slam a life sentence. Imagine if the day where they want to take Ayoktabe them, they go for court. The IG were there for outside. They be don't train 100 forces. They buy them gone. The day where they talk say Ayoktabe, they go court. That day, those forces, they launch a series of attacks against Cameroon colonial institution. And they send a powerful message to Paul Biya. Say, you know if you touch one leader, you go free. You know if you sentence one leader. The day we just talk, say the day they give the sentence at Yoktabe. That day, 10 or 5 Cameroon colonial mayors, they be picked up by the forces where IG they be recruit them, IG they train them, IG they give them gun. You see, you forget teeth for bite. So that's why when we see statements that they come out for back Paul Biya, for back your occupier, your jailer, for amnesty, a disgrace. Now a shame. Now the biggest political blunder we don't ever see him for modern history. Why? Because there's no teeth for bite. That's why you go for back for amnesty. That's why you go back the same person who will lock you. You go back, he make it grant you amnesty, and for grant the other one the way they did for outside amnesty. For go for outside, for go back for La République du Cameroon. Which crime they commit? Which crimes Ambazonians they commit? For ask Paul Biya make it grant Ambazonian amnesty. Which crime? But when I talk say now, when I declare restoration of independence. So you declare restoration of independence, and then you go ask Paul Biya, make it grant you and all Ambazonian the amnesty. Chai! You want independence, but you go tell Paul Biya, if he grant amnesty, free the prisoners, and then grant amnesty for all Ambazonians and for diaspora. You tell Paul Biya say he still get control over you. You still get control over the territory. He still get control over the one for diaspora. Because the only way you feel grant amnesty for people them. Now, if you get any authority over them, if you not be build an army, you for the back Paul Biya for grant amnesty? Really? You see how una make una self become very useless? You see how una don't make una self become very vulnerable? As you don't tell now, a dog will fit back and enough it bite, it be as useless as anything. Just because una be create SCBC for make too much noise, una use them. Una say una get the Ambazonian for una hand. Una say una get Ambazonian for una hand. Today, una dey go ask Paul Biya for amnesty. Very interesting set of people, eh? So how una want to gain the independence? If Paul Biya go grant una amnesty, then we say una independence will come on. If you count on Paul Biya for grant you only amnesty, then why you lie to the people? Why you deceive the people? Why now you go turn for Paul Biya? Say, if the conditions they be right, make Paul Biya release all prisoners them, and then he grant amnesty for all the one who they did for diaspora, which don't happen for your independence. You don't give them back for Paul Biya because you don't get any power for negotiate. You don't get any leverage. You don't get any teeth for bite. Biggest blunder. Now a shame. Now a disgrace for leadership. Now a mockery. Lack of political judgment. As I don't always tell the Ambazonian people them, leaders, their words, they get consequences. Leaders, their words, they get consequences. And the first test for know the thinking and the attitude and the actions of a leader are through words. The first test for know the direction where a person want to take you are through words. Because the only way where you go know what the person they think now from a language. Language are the first test for understand what they go on with a person. What be the direction where the person they try to take you. So now a big disgrace to the Ambazonian people then. Now a slap on the face to what they don't use our people them. To make them believe for this all fake stuff. Just because leaders will not be serious. Just because they be one and only fame. Just because they be big caught up for the euphoria. And there is nothing to back up. Nothing. There's no substance. There's nothing. So it make them become very vulnerable. Once people they become vulnerable, they become susceptible. Once they become very vulnerable, now all that, they be at the mercy of their jailers and the occupier. If they be only take time, put 50 soldiers them, 100 soldiers for Imojok, for Manfred Central, for Upper Biya, the game for being a complete different game. A complete different story today. Therefore, the talk now from a position of strength. Not be from a position of weakness and vulnerability. If they be only put forces for one state and say now IG forces than this. If I been a different game. Now so until they wait for Paul Biya for talks okay. Well, these people they get some consequentiality. Leadership failure. When you not create systems where go give you international leverage. You know they go around the world, they beg for the world. During conflicts, during liberation struggle, if you not build systems of leverage on the ground, on the territory, for what you fight for, you be as useless as nothing. You can only be a nuisance to the international system. You go be prone to corruption and embezzlement. They go only use your social voice. They know so you don't get any substance behind you. They go only use you and tilt you for their own direction. And you must succumb. Because what it be a fallback? You don't get any fallback. What it be a counter proposal? You don't. You must only do what they ask you. Or you're done. We already won one for all these things. So sometimes, not be one will be the talk, when I think so will be the play. The evidence, the difference when I face today. For some of una, when I hear this thing and a shame for most of all we. And a shame for the Ambazonian people then. A big disgrace, a big failure. And a catastrophe. A very bad judgment with very severe consequences. With very severe consequences. The statement why Yoktabe make am, it get very profound consequences. Because he exposed not only who he be as a person, as a leader of the IG care, but he exposed the entire vulnerability and the organization as a paper tiger. As a dog way, it be only fit for back. Let me say, oh, that noise the maker. So they say, no, it be only noise. No feedback. I mean the feedback. They have nothing to bite. No teeth. So what will be the use of Yerima? After 5 years, what is the use of Yerima then? Nasia. So that's why when we see now the liberation there as it day now, with some of this movement now, they rely now on proxies for survival. Okay? That's why the IGK now they rely now on Magi Kilo them, Atom Muchia, the Southern Cameroon International Town Hall for be their attack dog, for be their new proxies for their own survival. Because they never build any system we go give the IGK a standing within the Ambazonian struggle anymore. Because there's nothing left. SCBC, Southern Cameroon International Town Hall, don't take up. Now then pay the bills. So that's why they feel use them anyhow. As anti-Ambazonia, anti-AGOVC, anti-ADF. For the trash deliberation. And the IG cannot hold them into account. Because they will tell you, who be you for all into account? Come on, me then. Because now they rely on them for survival. So they must change. Anyway, might just give a simple advice to the people for the IGK. If they 1 year, but if they no 1 year, they throw my advice. For the IGK for survive, they must rebrand themselves. They don't lose the relevance of IG. It don't get no substance, it don't get no meaning, it never take them anywhere. They must rebrand themselves. Okay? They must rebrand themselves. They got to come up with a new name. First, 3 suggestions to the IGK. Do you want to just free advice? They need to pay me. I just care. Because I feel bad for see this man, a good man, Ayoktabe. They just throw it like that. And they make it become so useless. 3 advice. Number 1, when I give up the concept of the IG, it's dead. It got a very negative perception. It's dead. 1, when I change ourselves, when I separate ourselves them from all the other infiltrators them where they don't carry that name. Number 1. If when I want to make Ayoktabe be relevant, when I want to make it still get any meaning to the Ambazonian people, then when I must rebrand the organization, and when I separate myself from all these failures and all these negative things and way that they use the name IG for doing, when I separate ourselves, the IG, if the Ayoktabe, when I want to make the image, it still be positive. When I must drop the name IG. When I not saving when I enter for any place. When I not even justify why when I call myself IG. Me and Una and all Una know. We don't enter for high offices. When I say when I not even talk, say when I be IG. When I know. When I know. Now a trap. But when I feel get out of it. If we rebrand, if we reinvent, or my column, reinvention, make we reinvent the IGK and rebrand Seseko differently. Because the IG need to work on anymore. It get a very bad image. It don't cause a lot of destruction for our liberation struggle. It need to serve una, it need to serve the Ambazonian people them. Now time for una for change. Number 1, we reinvent, we rebrand, we come up with a new name. Mark Barretta don't try for create a name for una. African People Liberation Movement. I think now they try for create it's African People's Liberation Council. Maybe when I go for talk with Mark Barretta, may say una that name. Maybe when I need for adopt that name. But when I need for come up with a new name. Number 2, when I need for communicate with the Ambazonian people, say, as from today, we not get anything for do with the IG. As from today, the IG care of Ayoktabe, it don't become now this. When I get for communicator. Number 3, when I start for training our own forces them. When I start for recruit forces, when I train forces, under the direct command and control of the IG. All these things, where when I go after infiltrated forces, it no go help now through Southern Cameroon's International Town Hall. It go cause now more chaos on the ground. Waiting the world they look for today from Ambazonia. Now say if anything go for come up through any talks, they go talk now with the people the way they get forces where they under a command and control structure, so that when negotiation take place and it really actually go forward, there will be some form of coordination and control for how they feel secure those guns and transform those forces into whatever. The world no want more chaos. The world want accountability and transparency through structured processes. That's why they like the Ambazonia Governing Council. That's why all the international reports, they stand on the position of AGOVC. Because it gives predictability. And if it call for accountability, should in case crime they be committed. If forces under ADF they commit crime today, they go hold the president of Governing Council of Ambazonia Governing Council. It will be directly responsible. The leadership of Ambazonia Governing Council will be directly responsible for any crimes where they pass a certain level on the ground. Because they get under direct political leadership. Now, when I don't see what they happen for Ambazonia, all those loose groups them with these loose movements, they try for claim them. If anything happen, like in 3 months ago, when all this ground zero command, they killed 29 Ambazonians, who go take responsibility? All these IG go wash their hand, run away from it. When Manu Unity Warriors, they killed 69 for Boni, and then they kill another 19. Which of these IG they will take responsibility? None of them. The all man go run. They go run. When I don't see what it don't happen for Manu, that commander day for Manfe, he catch the other boy. He cut his head. When I don't hear any of these IG people, then they talk out. No, the all man go run. Make ADF commander or general, he do that thing. The Ambazonian Governing Council will be totally responsible. And now you go handle those things and address those things. But because they get a command and control, enough it happen. Because immediately any commander, like what you don't see me happen for Bamenda. When I see the ADF commander, they way, it don't reach a level where it go deal with drugs. It don't turn when I do the drug dealing. Now I don't create a drug network. What did they do? They can't go catch it. They demote it. Now responsibility that. Now the thing that the world wants to see them. And that's why they did respect the Ambazonia Governing Council. Number one, the IGK must reinvent, rebrand itself. Number two, they must communicate that idea. Say they don't get anything for do with the IG anymore. They must communicate come to the Ambazonian people and to the world and tell the world, the Ambazonian people and the world, what will be their new name. Number three, they create a force where go be under their total command and control. I don't give them 3 strategies, 3 advice for how they fit take for reinvent themselves. And then separate themselves from all these proxies. Because waiting will end up for happen. The Ambazonia Governing Council, it no go collaborate with any movement where they use proxy groups for intoxicated liberation. Man, just tell them. Waiting will end up for happen. The Ambazonia Governing Council, now the leading movement according to the world. Now so the world don't talk and not be me. The world don't talk say the Ambazonia Governing Council, now the leading movement for Ambazonia. The world don't talk say the Ambazonia Governing Council, now the most consequential movement. Without the AGOVC, nothing moves. Without the AGOVC, nothing works. They get a total political leadership will be the most stable, it be the most transparent, it be the most accountable. They get a force under a direct total command and control structure, under the direct political leadership, and are the biggest force on the ground according to all international assessment. They did for 8 states. So it made them the most consequential group for the conflict between Ambazonia and Cameroon. The Hague of Sea will come for a point. It no go collaborate with any movement with use proxies like Southern Cameroon's International Town Hall for staying Ambazonia name, for staying forces their name. Hague of Sea no will collaborate with any movement with the use proxies for intoxicated liberation. So the IG get for make a choice. The IGK get for make a choice. Disassociate yourself from proxies, and we'll work through genuine collaboration. Because you know we'll take this nonsense. You know we'll play this double game. You want to collaborate, and then you go use proxies for attack Hague of Sea, for attack Dr. Eba, for attack Lucas Asu, for attack General Efang, and then attack our forces and stain our liberation. It not gonna happen. It not gonna happen. You no go double deep. You no go double deep. You know play from both sides. I'm advise that for the IGK. Now back to the Ambazonian people then. I don't tell you now. At any time, the things on the ground, they shift. At any time. Just like the IG it don't make itself become very inconsequential. IGK don't make itself become very inconsequential. Sako don't make the greatest blunder. Who said Sako there today? Who said there today? It don't disappear. Make noise, make noise, make noise, make noise. Who said there today? Same blunder we say Sako make am, not the same blunder Sako make am. I'll talk about this tomorrow. For telling that the biggest blunders where all the IG don't make them and why they become inconsequential. I go take a whole subject, I break them down for una and give una lessons of leadership mastery so that others they know make the same mistakes. Sako don't finish. It not be nowhere to be found. For anything where they go on for anywhere. It's done. It don't finish like La République Savon, where they take and they wash clothes. It don't finish. The first one don't become inconsequential. The second one it don't finish. The game is over for Sako. The game don't be over. It's done. Back to Ambazonia. Una must make una selves. We don't make so much progress. But me una not leave them. Una defeat la Republic du Cameroon and then una lost una victory. Make una not leave them. Una don't make so much progress. Defeat la Republic du Cameroon. The strategy don't defeat Cameroon. While people don't pay a price for defeat la Republic du Cameroon. Make una not make the mistake for say una defeat la Republique du Cameroon and una lost una victory. Una buy more guns. The stakes will be very high. The stakes will be very high. At any time, things will change. If una leave them, la Republique du Cameroon is succeed for institute a transition. For putting a new person as a president, Ambazonia will be for the biggest trouble. Una go be for the biggest trouble. 2 weeks ago, I take the time, I do a whole segment and I explain them for una. Make una not leave them. Make Paul Biya start the process of transition. Because Ambazonia, they get a certain attitude. When things that go so well, they want to relax, drink mimbo, party. They forget to build momentum. No. When things that go well for your life, now the time that you need to work harder. I be the talk for one of our strategists, and I begin to talk about momentum, how to really build momentum. And I said, look, a perfect example now this one of the greatest basketball player we ever lived, Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant, he win an NBA championship through the Lakers. After the celebration, we don't become an MVP, the most valuable player, with all this money and all this endorsement for the biggest sports company for the world. After the celebration, by 2 o'clock for night, when all the other players they don't drink their mimbo, they go find their small thing them, they sleep, do all kind of thing for celebrate. However they want to celebrate them. I not be a person with the judge people for what they do. However they want to celebrate them. By 2 o'clock, Kobe Bryant just finished for win an NBA championship. After I don't spend months for train, for prepare, he just win an NBA championship. That same night, when everybody else they sleep, when everybody else don't be drunk, when everybody else the party, Kobe Bryant take that same ball, he go back for the same basketball court, for prepare, for practice for the next championship. Oh, my repeater. The day where Kobe Bryant he win championship, when everybody else they drink mimbo, party, dance, celebrate, get drunk, go sleep, Kobe Bryant by 2 o'clock for night, he don't take that same ball, go back for the same basketball court, for prepare for the championship for next year. For build momentum, for train himself, prepare himself. When you win, you get for work the hardest. Because it be very easy for you for lose that win. If you not train and prepare for what's next. Just because when I don't put forces on the ground, and when I don't make the territory ungovernable, when I don't secure some places as liberated territories, now when I want chill, now when I want relax, how you go win and then you want lose? Not do am. You don't get time for relax. You never kick La Republic Cameroon completely out. Paul Biya is not dead yet. Cameroon never be pulled out of Ambazonia. So you don't get time for celebrate. You get time for add more guns on the ground. You get time for recruit more forces, for train more forces, for expand your territoriality. Excuse me. For expand the territory they control them. For expand your sphere of influence. For expand the areas under your command and control and your influence and authority. You got to expand them. If you not expand them, wait till you think say you don't hold them, you go lose them. Now law. Because things if it shift at any time. The transition for La Republique we don't want one. If it take effect, they bring in Frank Biya, we not go be for more problems. We not go be for more problems. All this when Nyamfuka leaders them, they will become all part of the discussion for peace and reconciliation. Matoka. All this when Nyamfuka leaders, we they never put anything on the ground as leverage. They will be part of the Frank Biya peace and reconciliation for Cameroon. All of them. All. Because they don't get any teeth for bite. There will be nothing for them to resist. So now that time, Yerima go and try for go recruit forces and buy guns. Una use una heads. This message now mostly for ground zero. Now una pay the price. Now una don't pay the price. The diaspora don't support. Una don't face some disappointment. Una don't face some setbacks. All we get a responsibility for una. Dr. Cho don't vow with his life. Forgive una, and he don't offer una the finest leadership. Una listen for good advice. I don't want any position. Ambazonian gain independence today. The only thing I go do, I say I for close my chapter of my work for una and move on with my life. I know one una political positions. I know one una political appointments. The day we una gain una independence, I go fold my books, I close them, and move on with my life for go do other better things. And then una continue with other works. I need to do them because I want political position. And because I care. And because after we don't taste life for this part of the world, we want make all our people them they experience even more than the freedom we would get them for here. May they get more opportunities waiting more than we get them for outside here. In fact, for outside will be strangers. We only do them because we care. And because we mommy them, we papa them, we communities, we friends them. All our friends and we go school with them. At least 95%. They still there back home. We did do enough for them. My former classmates. My communities. My state. What accommodate? All other Ambazonians them. Who they like me. All the young people them. May they get the same hope. We need to do that because we want some benefit. Say independence will come and then you go make me minister. No. We care. That's why we be passionate. Because we value our people, their lives. Because we honor who they be. And for protect their humanity and their aspirations and their hopes and their dreams. So that they get something better. The Bible of freedom. Na AK. The stakes will be very high. As the leader don't really tell what people them. The game is over for Cameroon. The game is over for Cameroon. Now up to you, the Ambazonian people them. Una take una country back. But una must be ready for build a nation. Una must be ready for build a new nation. Una must be ready. Una must ready una picking them. Una must ready una selves for take over the responsibility for nation building. Because now una opportunity that we will give una. Send Cameroon out and give our people them the opportunity for take back their country and rebuild their country and reap the rewards of nation building and freedom. Now they give that. Now they give that. They give na say any Ambazonian girl picking, if he get the freedom for open a salon and become very wealthy for this beauty industry and be very proud in it, it go make a good living. Good living. Any Ambazonian boy picking, you fit become a mechanic. You make the best living. Pass even best way, you go school, you go get a PhD. You make a very exceptional living in a free Ambazonia. And you will be free. Even if you want to become an Ambazonian Prime Minister, you will get that choice. You want to become an economist, you will get that choice. anything where you want become, where you feel dream am, and you get the potential, the will, the passion, the ingenuity, the focus, the energy for it, you will become it. Now the thing that freedom offer people them. Choices. Choices. What if freedom to give you a choice? The choice for do anything without any limit. There's no limit. For what if you do them, for what if you become, for what if you accomplish them, for what if you accumulate them and experience them as a lifestyle. There's no limit. Now they give this with Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba. He want give for all now. For experience the full life we God give you now. Now what is the egg of city offer our people than this? Unconditional freedom for a new way of life. We must be ready for say, if we want to live a life and corruption all day, then equal opportunities will be for everybody. So that you know if it depend, your girl picking, you know if you live and make a girl picking go begin to sleep some grandpa within 90 years old for that girl picking forget a job. Not before the new Ambazonia. Your boy picking, enough he come out, he go kneel down for some person before he get a job. You know what happened for Ambazonia? Because the playing field will be very equal and level for every person. Every person will get the talent, he get the will, he get the zeal. You make him for Ambazonia. Any person you want to work hard for create a good living and provide for your children, for your family, you go get a chance for life. Now the thing is what Dr. Abawan offer them for una. True life, true independence. Now they work this. That's why every Ambazonia, the only language we get for the talk, that say we must take our land back. And for take our land, we must put as many guns on the ground as humanly possible. Now the game that. The more guns we put them on the ground, the more La Republic, it go look and say, chai! These people don't take their country back. Now we don't defeat them, they define way for staff to come back. And if we not put the forces, we not train forces, we not put more forces on the ground, then we go create the space for La Republic for come back for Ambazonia. In one way or the other. In one way or the other. It will be not their fault. It will be not our fault. It will be not the fault of the international community. It will be their fault. And it will be not something we go regret them. Because the same people will butcher your people, rape your mommy, rape your picking them, kill your brothers, burn your villages. You defeat them, but you not put the guns for take back your country and create the state back. You leave yourself, become weak in your victory, and the enemy come back. Then they tell you, say, make una reconcile. Ambazonians, now warning this I give una. All my education I give una, na part of open una head them, open una minds, and prepare una for the future. Their future, capture them, take them, now their own. You don't need any person a permission. You don't need for beg Mr. Biya. Mr. Biya no go grant we, the people of Ambazonia Governing Council, amnesty. We are not Cameroonians. When Mr. Biya go grant we amnesty, I be an Ambazonian. I not be a Cameroonian. I not get anything for do with Cameroon. I not get anything for do with Cameroon. Mr. Biafi grant amnesty for the people of the IG. Not before egg of seas. Not before Ambazonians. We need to take amnesty from Mr. Biya. We are not Cameroonians. If you only grant amnesty for the people of Cameroon, not before Ambazonians. Alright? We own our land. We get our land. Now we decide our destiny. We decide our future. If he be serious, he come for table, we go beat he and kick his ass for negotiation. Alright? We get teeth for bite. Egg of sea, don't give Ambazonian teeth for bite. We need just talk, we'll get teeth for bite. Any place we go, we speak with strength and conviction and truth. Ambazonian on our own. We need to beg them. Now, yeah? Ambazonian on our own, we need to beg them. We are not begging. We need to beg any person. Ambazonian on our own, our land, we need to beg any person. So that's why we talk authoritatively, because we need to beg any person. Number one, we don't create systems of leverage and influence and authority. All right? So when we talk with power and any place where the leader go. Because for wartime, if you not build power, you be a coward. Who will respect you? Nobody. So we don't build power for the Ambazonian people then. Ambazonians, they be very powerful. And I was saying, where they get for take pride. Now don't live and make any person say when I cheap. When I get power, when I get authority. Now first of all, now when I learn, number two, when I don't take them back. So now which kind of nyamfuka, we can't give you amnesty for your own land. Better get the fuck out. Alright. Anyways. When I join way, Christmas time don't reach. The forces, they don't do an incredible job. When I see what they demonstrate them 2 months ago for October, they give all with the greatest joy. Over the coming days, I go to come for all now, for launch a campaign, for launch a campaign, a Christmas campaign, for start the process, for show appreciation and gratitude for the sacrifices where our forces, they don't pay the price and give you this joy. For mobilize enough money for this Christmas period, we must provide all the barracks for all the 8 states. We must give enormous amount of chop for our forces them as a sign of gratitude, as a sign of thank you for the honor and the respect where they don't give with the Ambazonian people them. So in the next few days, when I will hear from me, when I will see me, I'm going to launch a campaign where every Ambazonian, you get that for show your appreciation for what these forces they don't do. Or we will put our hands together for give them something as a sign of gesture for our own gratitude for the sacrifices we don't do for uplift an entire generation. So we're going to launch the forces, the Feed the Forces Christmas campaign. All right. So I will join Una, I will come Una, but the next few days, as fortunately I get more time now, I don't finally come home for spend some time for Christmas with family and friends. So we'll get some time for do some work, for do a lot more work for our people them during this period. So I'll be very grateful for life. We'll be very grateful for the energy. I'll be very grateful for serve our people them and speak and protect our people them on their behalf. Now would they do this work. Now through them would they do this work. Now because of them would they do this work. This work would they do them. Now for our people them. And the people them where they don't do the hardest work for all we, our forces. All the things where they happen today internationally, our forces. All the respect we get them now from the world, because of our forces them. So we owe them. Say Christmas come, we raise enough money for buy enough chop for feed all the barracks, so that we give them more strength and more energy for continue, for protect, for defend, and for liberate. When I get a good night, we'll talk for now tomorrow.